I know the truth. It was an accident. It was tragic and it was terrible, but it was just that, an accident.
I don't fertilize with poo.
The Morning Stream. Maybe I can help you. I am Boba Fett.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to TMS. This is The Morning Stream, and this is June 23rd, 2025. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Welcome to another week, and big week here.
Final week of the month. A lot of culmination here. We got Brian and his big MS-150 finally happening. We got me going to a concert in Las Vegas, hopefully not, and with no weirdness. In fact, temperatures dropped like 12, 13 degrees for us, so that's nice.
Good. Yeah, here too. We had 100-degree temperatures over the weekend, which made, last prep ride not so fun. But it's temperatures are coming down. It's going to be a little cooler. What they're saying about this coming weekend for the MS-150, it's going to be a little bit cooler. I hope it's going to be even cooler than what they're predicting now, because they're saying low to mid 90s on Saturday, and I'd like to see that maybe drop down just a little bit more.
Yeah, we get that in maybe like 86,
high 80s, yeah,
87 maybe.
I mean, ideally high 70s, mid 70s be just fine with me.
That'd be great. That's also how old I want to live, is mid 70s.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah,
not past that.
I don't need to go any further than that. I mean, I can if if the time willing, or the whatever. There's a huge breakthrough in how people live or whatever.
Of course,
all that stuff's fine. But I'm in no.
Listen, if the way my grandmother lived, how alert and fun and responsive and active and all that stuff my grandma Carol was at 99, and if that's 99, I'll totally do 99.
Yeah, you know what, if I go like her, I just don't want to be like John, where I'm a cranky old bastard that doesn't listen to anybody but himself. I don't want to be that.
Exactly.
I don't know why I would be that. He was like that his whole life, so I don't know why I'm even saying that. But anyway, we're here. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get a... I know you had some... Brian had a massive pre-ride.
Yes.
This last weekend, right? And it went ways that you're now going to tell us. So tell us the tale.
So this was the last big practice ride before the ride this coming weekend. I'm going to do some rides every day this week just so I don't lose momentum. But the ride Saturday was a nice little 40-mile ride. We started at my house and then rode down to Uncle George and Aunt Barb's house, which is down on the other side of town. I mean, basically, if you look at the map, you've got Denver kind of right in the middle, and we went from the northwest kind of down to south central, past Denver, down to the other side of town.
Sure.
So this was a substantial ride, and because of Barb's MS, there are considerations that have to be made. She doesn't do well with bridges, underpasses, just because of the enclosure or the feeling of having anything really close next to you. MS comes with some balance issues that you gotta, you have to contend with and things like that.
That's what I was going to ask. So, is like an equilibrium thing, like balance and that sort of thing?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So things like narrow bridges, and there's a lot, because we're basically riding, for the second half of the ride, we're riding along the Platte River from Denver all the way from Mile High Stadium or Empower Field, home of the Broncos, all the way down to Chatfield Reservoir, and it follows the path of the Platte River, frequently hopping across to either side of the river as it needs to for highway traffic and things like that. So it's there are frequent bridges on that, and underpasses as you go under major roads and things like that. Some bridges, because they're so narrow, freak Barb out, because there's bikes coming towards her, oncoming traffic, and I even get freaked out because it doesn't feel like there's enough room sometimes for two bikes to pass each other on these bridges. But
Yeah, I mean, these are regular thoroughfares, right? Places people drive and do stuff.
Yeah. Well, no cars, just bikes.
Oh, just bikes on there.
Pedestrians and bikes, yeah.
Oh, but even then,
but
it's like it get a little congested or whatever.
They feel a little narrow, yeah, exactly. Especially when you've got, cyclists who don't do single file. It drives me nuts. George, Barb, and I, we're very conscientious about making sure we go single file and calling our, lefts and stuff when there are pedestrians or other cyclists that we're passing, anything like that. We're super conscientious about that. But then we get oncoming bikes that are spread too, parallel and barely give us enough room on the remaining part of the path. So we're having to precariously ride on the edge of the path, which drives us nuts. But
I mean, I get it that people want to do their little tandem thing and they want to talk. Sure, they got their little routine, but we live in a society once again.
Exactly. Yeah. You wouldn't want, if somebody were to ride towards you pair of people that are riding parallel, what if somebody was doing it coming the other way? One of you would have to move because otherwise those middle people are crashing.
That's right.
So anyway, we're 30 miles into the ride, about 8 to 9 miles, 10 miles away from the finish line. Tina's being great. She doesn't want to ride with us, but she simulates the experience of the MS-150 by meeting us every 10 to 12 miles along the route. Maybe closer to every 8 to 10 miles with snacks, refilling our water. We filled up a big cooler with ice water and
love it.
Yeah, and basically just, restocking everything, giving us energy Stroopwaffles and bananas and, grapes and things like that.
I know she's not doing this, but I picture her with a megaphone going, go, 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 go.
Totally. Just about. Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
So we had just left one of her stops and we're continuing on the path, and we're going under an underpass, and there's a pedestrian walking. And then there's an oncoming bike. So Barb is leading, kind of setting the pace for the three of us. And she slows down right behind the pedestrian, matching his speed. And then we wait for the cyclist to pass us. And then she calls out, of course, she lets the pedestrian know, 3 bikes on your left. We go around him. And this is in an underpass. And it's such a bright day, super sunny day. Temperature, unfortunately, in the mid 90s, high 90s to 100. And when you go into those underpasses, you're going from super bright sunshine to dark, instant dark under the overpasses. Yeah. So your eyes are taking a second to adjust. But we go around the pedestrian, the cyclist passes, we go around the pedestrian. And as she's continuing under this underpass, we think it's her handlebar, her right side of her handlebar hits this fence that divides the path from these rocks that then go right into the Platte River. So you've got the Platte River, a bunch of these big, sharp, jaggedy rocks, and then a nice little metal fence that keeps people from toppling over there.
Right.
This is one of those situations you always hear about where people say, it happened so fast, I'm not exactly sure what happened. But basically, 1 second, Barb's doing fine. The next second, she is on her back on the pavement. Her bike is kind of pinned. She's got one leg through the bars, but the bike is kind of laying on her. It's her front tire is hissing because it's popped, and she is on the ground.
Damn.
George and I immediately, of course, hop off our bikes.
I've already heard, but that's funny. Is I've heard this part of the story, and it's still making me sweat. It's still,
I'm sure, exactly,
insane, man. I hate that.
So
feeling.
We ran up there, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and she's apologizing to us for falling down. We're like, "No, you're okay? How you feeling?" She's like, "Oh, give me a second," and I'm pulling my phone out, and George is saying, "Yep, you're done writing for the day. We're gonna get Tina to come pick you up." And I'm calling Tina, who had just met us at another stop, and I said, you need to come get Barb and her bike. She had a fall. It's a pretty serious one. So we need to get her bike and get her. You might even be taking her to urgent care. We're going to see how she's feeling."
Yeah.
At that point, as I'm talking to Tina, I see liquid underneath Barb's head. And then I look closer and I realize, oh, that's not water, that's blood. It was like on the pavement underneath Barb's head. She's laying down, and then I see part of her helmet is cracked and laying next to her.
Holy shit.
So I'm like, Tina, you still come to get Barb's bike, but I'm calling 911. So I tell Tina where we're at. She starts heading down. I call 911 and talk to the person. She's lucid. Barb's a nurse, so Barb is like saying, here's how I'm feeling. Here's what's going on, and the blood, at first glance, it looks like it's coming out of her ear, and that's freaking me out. Of course,
that's like the worst scenario, right?
It's the worst scenario.
Yeah.
Then George reaches down and pulls off her glasses, and we realize, oh no, it's coming from like the bridge of her nose area, pooling in her eyes. And then from her eyes, it's draining down into her ear, and then from her ear, it's draining down onto the ground.
Oh man, you really had us at pooling in her eyes.
I know.
Man.
Yeah, all of it is like none of it sounds great, right? This is like a garden fountain of blood on Barb's face. But she's chatting with her. She's still apologizing. She's like, "Oh my God, this is my favorite ride." And I said, "Well, probably usually, but probably today is not your favorite ride."
No, not today.
So the paramedics show up. They've got a stretcher. They come down. We have to direct them because it's on the bike path, and we're directly under Bellevue Avenue on this path, and we just have to tell them, well, it's easier for you guys to get to us from the south side and where you can park and that sort of thing. I was
going to ask you if they could even, like, if they stopped right above it, they'd have to stop traffic both ways and all. I mean, I guess you can. In emergencies, you do what you got to do. But there's like little parking areas on either side. There's a nice little green belt park that goes along some of the path, which is nice. Small victory. The pedestrian that we passed, by the way, has stopped, and he's like, what can I help with? And do you need anything? And he actually he goes out and starts stopping people who are coming into the overpass, or slows them down, because again, being you're going from super bright to super dark, you might not see that there's a cluster of people in this underpass because of the brightness adjustment. Right. So he's slowing people down that way. There's another guy on another bike who's slowing people down the other way and directing the paramedics down to where George and I are. Tina gets there, start grabbing the bikes. Barb has an e-bike. The handlebar is turned a full 45 degrees from where the wheels pointed. So when she hit, it cranked the wheel. We think that her face and her glasses probably hit the top of the fence area or the pavement, and that's what caused the bridge of her nose to get broken. So they just crammed her glasses into her nose bridge. Just bam.
Crammed her glasses right into the bridge of her nose, and she.
That's dangerous too, because isn't there like a bone or something right there? If you hit it wrong, it'll go into your
orbital.
Yeah,
I think what she broke was the orbital bone, and it's like not the one that could go into your brain, kind of thing.
I thought there was something. But isn't there something with your nose?
No, that is what you're. Yeah,
hit
that is a
straight on. Right, I guess it's not
what,
up here.
It's what. Daniel Craig or Jason Statham do to stop a guy is hit him in that bone to just kind of knock him out.
That's right.
Fortunately, it didn't do that.
I'm very glad to hear that. That's good.
So paramedics, the long story getting kind of short. Tina shows up. We load Barb's bike on there. I told George, well, you obviously you're going to the hospital with her. We'll load your bike on and get it to your house. But because our bike rack only holds 2 bikes, I have to continue the ride solo because there's not a place for my third bike to put on the bike rack. So at this point we've been standing around for half an hour. It's getting hot. I'm like, all right, I got to keep doing the ride, and it's uphill the whole rest of the way.
Yeah, and you're alone now. I mean, not that it's because again, like the way you were riding before, it's not like you guys are a big party going down the street.
No, we're not, side by side chatting. So they get to the hospital. Barb ends up, like I said, breaking her, the bridge of her nose is broken. She has a fracture in her T1 transverse process, which is the top of your spine where it connects to your neck and stuff. Yeah. Both of which are what they call, Dr. Jerry can obviously clean this up, but it's like they're supported bones, so it's not like you can put a cast on either of those. You just kind of have to set them, take it easy, and let them fuse back, heal back the way.
It's like your coccyx, kind of, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Can't
do much. Yeah. Hopefully she doesn't have, a year of severe pain back there, but
she doesn't. And she had two fractured ribs, but that came from the previous weekend when she crashed her bike.
Oh,
so
hey.
so here's what I'd like y'all to do. If you haven't donated to the MS-150, donate to keep Barb from riding.
Yeah.
Please.
Enough to keep her off the damn bike. By the way, so can I show this photo of her bruised up
Yes,
here?
you can show the photo. Yes, I have permission to share this photo of Barb.
She got pretty banged up there. You can see where all this happened. Actually, not hilariously, but ironically, the place she was bleeding from it looks like the least amount of damage. It's all this bruising on the side.
Right. The bruising around her eye and around her face. And stuff.
Man.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I'm so sorry she had to go through that.
So obviously, as soon as I get down to their house, Tina, we load the, she takes their bikes, puts them in the garage. We get my bike on the back of the car. But then we go to the hospital to just see how she's doing. And she's laughing and chatting it up with the PA and the doctor in there. And she keeps asking, like, well, if I feel okay, can I still do the MS-150 ride next weekend? And they're like, yeah, if you feel like you're up for it, then go for it. And George and I are both, and Tina are like, are you kidding me? You're still thinking about doing that? And I say, all right, well, let me ask you this. You feel fine. Let's say on Friday you feel fine. You decide you're going to do the MS-150.
Yeah.
If unrelated, uncontrollable of something you do, somebody runs into you and causes an accident, is it going to aggravate these things to where they're worse and cause more damage?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, and then she says, you know what? You're absolutely right. If I were my patient, I would absolutely tell my patient not to do it, because even though she didn't have a concussion, she's like, but there are still some head injuries that don't show up as a concussion. And if you were to hit your head a second time, it's like those football players, basically, who get hit multiple times and causes more damage, even though it doesn't show up as a concussion. She's like, you know what? I would tell a patient not to do it, so I better follow my own advice.
I wouldn't do anything in her case. I wouldn't do anything where I'm hunched over with my head forward and I'm swiveling and grinding back and forth.
Oh my gosh, that T1, exactly, absolutely.
Jeez, that gives me the willies just to say it out loud. Oh my gosh,
it absolutely does.
Well, I'm glad she's okay as you can be after such a thing.
Yes, nothing permanent. We'll have to see how her nose looks after it heals up. If she's going to look like the center forward for the New York Islanders or something.
Maybe she get a little what's his name? Wow, shove that.
Wow,
nose.
a little Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, maybe.
I don't know. He's a big deal. People like him. Well, that's good, dude. I'm glad she's all right.
Yes.
But also sucks that she went through it. That's terrible. Nobody wants to wipe out on a bike for any reason at all.
Exactly. Max Trollbot, it's not C1. Please Google T1 transverse process fracture, and you'll see exactly what what it's not a C1.
Yeah, T1. He didn't confuse it with the internet connection of the 90s. He didn't do
exactly.
that.
Yes.
All right, real quick story. I don't know what is going on. There's something in the water this weekend.
I think so, yeah.
Because I had the closest I can think to compare this to, Brian, is I'm going to call this a GTA-style side quest. Okay? We're coming home from lunch. We took the girls to dinner when Kim got home. She's like, let's take the girls to dinner. I got these coupons wherever. We decided to go get stuff at this burger place, gourmet burger place. It was great. Great time. We're like, all right, we're heading home. It's like 7 to 8, something like that. We're like, it's time to go home. But it's still very sunny out. We're heading toward the equinox, or the summer, not equinox, solstice.
The solstice.
Longest day,
solstice.
all that. So we're getting lots of sunlight late at night and all that. So we're just driving along, and we see this little kid, probably 5 years old, if that, walking by himself on the road, bawling his eyes out.
Oh, okay.
So Kim goes into full mama bear mode. I don't see it right away. She's driving. She goes, uh-oh, and the car goes, and she turns around and parks over in this thing and runs out to this kid to see what's going on. And she gets down on his level. She's like, are you okay? What's the matter? And he's rubbing his eyes and he's tearing up, and she says, I need to go home. And she says, oh, well, where do you live? Are you okay? First of all, is everything fine? Do you want me to walk you home? He says, I don't live very far. And she says, okay, well, I'll walk you home. Is that okay if I walk you home? And he's not doing any stranger danger stuff, which is good and bad. But he, Kim,
exactly.
He's very lucky it was Kim.
I'm glad you're trusting us, but you shouldn't trust strangers.
Yeah, it felt like I wanted to teach him this little lesson, but I didn't do it. Right. So we're all out talking to him for a minute. Then I get in the car. So it's me, Alicia, and Carter in the car, and I'm driving, and I don't have my license or my glasses with me because Kim drove that night. So I can't see great, and I don't have my license. So if something dumb happens, I'm in trouble. But whatever. She's walking this kid. So now I'm thinking, well, I'll just kind of follow him, because they've cut into the neighborhoods now. It's not the busy street. So I'm kind of like just creepily following this, what people just see as a woman and a small child walking on the side of the road. And This goes on for a little while. And this is where it gets nuts. And this felt like Final Destination almost. We get to this place in the road where a guy across the street goes, hey, to Kim. And Kim goes, hi, do I know you? And he goes, you taught my kid in the preschool something years ago, and his name was this or that. And she goes, oh, yeah, I remember him. How's he doing? Oh, he's real tall now. Like all this conversation across the street. I'm idling and inching forward listening to this going, all right, this is great. While this is happening, and here's the Final Destination part, a kid comes out of a door on this other house with a big thing of cookies and looked like he's going to go door to door to sell cookies. Okay. So, of course, Kim being who she is, she goes, hey, nice to see you. Hold on a second. Hey, kid, are you selling cookies? And the kid goes, yeah, I'm trying to go to Spain for a soccer tournament. And she's like, well, give me some of them cookies. Hey, Scott, reach in the glove box. We got some cash in there. And so now I'm like, oh, my gosh, we're getting money out. I give it to Carter. She runs it out there. I'm still creeping along. And then while she's making this transaction, this poor kid is holding her hand and rubbing his eyes because he's been crying. We still don't know his story. Yeah.
She better have given him some of the cookies, by the way.
Well, she asked him, she says, you want some cookies? He says, no. But I'll tell you what, the cookies have another part of the story toward the end.
Okay, all right.
So she gets the cookies because she wants to help this other kid. And he's running around. And then there's 4 or 5 people out mowing lawns, and they're all looking at all this like, what's going on? Meanwhile, I park just behind a Tesla that's got a teenage girl in it who's on her phone. Okay. And apparently me parking right behind her and sitting there not moving really freaked her out. Because she pulls out, and I think she's leaving, but no, she just pulls out, moves up a few notches to another house, and then parks on their thing. Because I look like I'm being creeper.
There's just stranger danger right there.
Yeah. Everyone else is having it, but this kid who should have it, right?
Yeah.
So then they continue walking, and I start pulling out, and I look at the girl in the Tesla, and I kind of wave at her, and she's on her phone going like this, like she thinks something bad's happening.
Yeah.
Then it goes on forever. We're just walking and walking around. Like, where does this kid live? Does he actually know?
Yeah.
He's little. While they're walking, he tells her the story that he got in a fight with his friend on their scooters at the 7-Eleven, which is way too far from his house.
Oh, wow.
And that's why he's by himself. He left his scooter there. It's the whole thing. Kids, whatever.
Yeah.
But then we're like, you're so far from home. And he says, well, if we see my mom, don't tell her I was at the 7-Eleven, and don't tell her. I don't know what she say. Oh, don't tell her I got in a fight. Don't tell her I was at the 7-Eleven, and don't tell her I cried. It was like really sad. Makes me wonder if this mom's a real beast or something. So then we get to the house finally, and I'm still creeping behind, doing what I do. And Carter's going nuts because she can't stand all this input. It's just like driving her nuts that all this is happening at once.
Right. You got like cookie sales, girls in Teslas freaking out on their phones. Yeah.
And when Carter got out of the car to go help, she started walking with them. And now I look like I'm Uber driving Alicia in the back seat because she's just back there and she's laughing her head off. She thinks this is really funny, this whole thing. So we finally get to where this house is. Bang, knocking on the door, ringing doorbell. She's home. This woman's home, but she does not come to the door. We never see her. But some of the neighbor kids know this kid, and they're all talking and hanging out and doing whatever. And another neighbor lady who we do know walks over, says, what's going on? Kim says, well, I don't know where his mother is, but here's where we found him, and if you could maybe keep an eye on things. So we leave it at that. And then the kid walks up before Kim leaves and says, hey, how about those cookies? And Kim goes, "You want them?" He goes, "Yep." So she gives all of the cookies to this kid.
Oh, good. Okay.
Which means creeper driver and passenger and Carter, nobody else is going to get cookies tonight. It's just going to be this kid.
Yeah. He needed them, though. He needs the comfort, the reassurance.
He definitely does, because he's got a mom who'll be mad if he cried, and he's got a mom who won't come to the damn effing door.
God, no kidding.
Doesn't know her kid is literally, like, this 7-Eleven is not close. It's way, way far from where this kid lives. And he's 5.
Jeez.
He's just a little boy. So anyway, it was quite the good time. Got home.
Wow.
Helped us work off a little dinner. Everything was fine. Brian, you had some trivia last night. I'd like to know how you scored. How'd it go?
Yeah, we did the finals, the trivia tournament finals, that the first part of which were 2 weeks ago, and we ended up in the top 7 at our location to make it to the finals. Or we're 6th place 2 weeks ago. And I'm happy to say that we finished on the podium.
Nice.
We were 3rd place out of 14 teams. That basically there was one question that just killed us, which was we'll see how everybody does here, but there was a double opportunity that we didn't know the answer to and decided not to take. Name the crustacean that is dubbed the thumb splitter, because its attack, without details about its attack, can deliver 200 pounds of pressure.
Oh my gosh.
So crustacean, 200 pounds of pressure, known as the thumb splitter.
Crustacean. It's got to have a tail or something, or I guess a pincher, like a. I don't actually know this. I don't know. What is it?
A lot of people in the chat room are getting it. It is the mantis shrimp.
Mantis shrimp? Okay.
Yeah.
Can we eat those?
Imagine you can. Sure. Yeah. We were thinking about pistol shrimp came up. People got 0, lost all their points if they said pistol shrimp. So of course we didn't do it. We were thinking in the crab family, like the deadliest catch, whatever the crabs are that they get there, that, I don't know if those are Alaskan king crabs that they.
Yeah, I assume I would have always assumed like crabs, something with pinchers, like big old pinchers on them. But this little guy here, this cute little guy,
200 pounds of pressure that they can deliver, and
wild. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
though. Holy crap, they're pretty.
Really cool coloring. Yeah.
All right, I learned something. They also call it the palm clementif. Just kidding, that's not true.
Because of mantis.
Yeah, you get it.
But basically only 2 teams knew the answer and doubled their points, and those were the teams that took 1st and 2nd place. So we ended up with 3rd. My question of the day that I got, we had to come up. There was an anagram of Tiri Shame. What world leader's name can be anagrammed appropriately to Tiri Shame?
Tiri Shame.
Tiri Shame, and I got it instantly as Theresa May.
Oh.
Only 5 teams were able to get that one.
She's still in charge of something? I thought she was out. No?
She's out. Yeah, she's former prime minister. She was prime minister during Brexit.
It counts, though, right? You can be a former leader and you still...
Yeah, you're still a world leader.
Yeah. They stay. I mean, we still
don't have to be. They didn't say current world leader. They just said what world leader's name can be.
See, this is why you're good at this, because you go into that thing knowing there could be tricking you, tricking you. Right. My first assumption would be, well, I guess if they're a leader, they have to be. It's like Bill Clinton can't be counted.
Current, yeah, right. It's like how once you're president, they always still have to address you as Mr. President.
That's true.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I'm going to call the current guy sex shit, but that's just me.
There's a lot of names that I think are more appropriate than Mr. President.
Yeah.
The final question of the game was, who was president in 1894? And
we guess
we have our history buff on our team that knew it instantly.
Instantly, eh?
Yeah.
So we're close to the turn of the century. Gonna guess. Oh, geez. Not Garfield. That'd be earlier. I don't know. Who is it?
Grover Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
Alexander was a year off of that, and Grover Cleveland was our president in 1894.
Anybody named Grover? It's okay
I
in
know.
my book.
Not even, and it's not his real name. He's the only president, I think, that goes that went by a name that was not his actual first name. His real name is like Stephen Grover Cleveland or something like that.
He went with a middle name?
Yeah.
Because William Jefferson Clinton, so he didn't. I'm trying to think of another middle namer out there.
Right.
George H.W. Bush, George W.
Stephen
Bush.
Grover Cleveland, yeah.
Wild.
His name is Cookie Monsters. Elmo Cleveland.
He took over Sesame Street. It's never been the same.
That's right.
Well, that's great.
Anyway.
Congratulations
Yeah.
on your bronze medal, Brian. Well done.
Yeah, exactly. And came with, $50. We just basically paid for our meals,
Nothing
which is
wrong with that.
fine. We still, yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, I am going to bring in our old pal Brian. We're going to play a little the old half-asses. Let's do this.
See how you guys do with some trivia.
That's right. Get in, losers. We're playing trivia. Brian's here. Hi, Brian Dunaway. What are you doing? He's muted himself. Unmute yourself. It says muted yourself.
Why are you muting yourself? Why are you muting yourself?
Yeah. What are you doing there, buddy? Did we not? Maybe he's not ready. Maybe he's taking a poop. I don't know what he's doing. But Brian, you got to click on your little green phone there. See your little phone icon?
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Hi. Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh, that's weird.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Oh, hi, Scott Johnson. Well, I was just listening to you guys talking about Grover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You big Grover
Well, I've been-
Cleveland fan, or how do you feel about it?
No, Sesame Street fan. I've been hanging out with Big Bird this morning. We was down on Sesame Street, and he was out there with his big giant skates on, trying to hop, Mr. Hooper's broom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he fell and he skinned his knees up. You guys ever seen a bird skin his knees?
No. Never. No.
Their knees are on the back of their legs, aren't they?
That's true.
This is the way they bend. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well,
That makes Big Bird even weirder because he doesn't have
It really
the bend.
does. No, he has the wrong bending in his legs.
It's not cool.
You know what, Ian? I am Sci-Fi. Good point. Calvin Coolidge was John Calvin Coolidge, so he also went by his middle name. So they were BSing us when they said, "Here's some bonus information about Grover Cleveland."
Oh,
So,
see, they didn't get it
yeah.
right. They should have checked the internet.
They did not. Maybe he had his name legally changed or something.
Maybe if
Who
his
knows?
knees were on backwards, he could also,
Yeah, see,
Yes,
that's what we're
yes.
saying. Hey, well, Dunaway, it's great to have you here. We're going to play a little game. Brian's going to explain these here rules for the Monday morning half-asses, and we're going to play it. So, Brian, take it away.
Sure. Here you go. Welcome to the Morning Half-Asses, a trivia game where I'm actually going to be giving you the answers. I give Scott and Brian a category and 6 possible answers, 3 of which are correct and 3, like pistol shrimp, are incorrect. Depending on how confident you feel with the category, you can provide 1, 2, or 3 guesses, but if any of those guesses are wrong, you get 0 points for that round. Get 1 right, you get a point. Get 2 right, you get 3 points. But if you get all 3 right, boy, oh boy, you get 5 points, and that's a big mama jama. Player with the most points after 3 rounds wins the prize for their contestant, and I've pulled contestants for members of the Tadpool that aren't able to listen live. Scott, you're playing for Steve Smetzer in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Yeah, I like it. It's great.
Bowling Green just sounds like a fun place.
Yeah.
Brian, you're playing for Troy in Perth in Western Australia.
That's great.
Oh, nice.
That could be Perth and Troy for all we knew,
It could be, right? Yeah.
Goes both ways. That's
Certainly
great.
could.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the prizes after we get our game going, but let's go ahead and get to your first set of questions. Your first one is events that have been won by a woman. This is another one where I had to do some follow-up research to make sure.
This should be easy.
Sure,
I sense the sarcasm in his response.
I'm just letting you. Yeah.
I did have to do some research to make sure that a woman hasn't won these things since the question was written, because sometimes the delay on these means that things have changed. Your choices are the PBA Tournament of Champions, the Daytona 500, the Belmont Stakes, the Iditarod, the World Series of Poker, and the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh my gosh.
Which 3 of those have been won by a woman?
Oh my gosh. All right. I think I know one for sure. Do I dare go 2?
What is PBA?
Peanut butter and anal sandwich.
Professional bowling
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and check
Association.
that one. Oh,
She won the PB and anal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably. Actually, I don't know. What is the B? Oh, bowling. It's bowling.
It's bowling. Yeah, Professional
Bowling.
Bowling Association.
so it's not Professional Bella Associate. Okay.
I'm taking these 2. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
You guys
know.
have locked in. You guys locked in on 2 each, and between the two of you, locked in on completely different ones. Let's start up top. The PBA Tournament of Champions. Yes, actually, the first woman to win that was in 2010.
Yeah.
Very good.
I watched a documentary on that. I thought that's what that was. Yeah.
Jerk.
Let's look at the Bassmaster Classic. This is a fishing tournament that occurs every year.
Yeah.
The Bassmaster. To date, nope, no woman has won the Bassmaster, and Brian's other one, the World Series of Poker. Nope, despite her attempts, Jennifer Tilly has never won that one. The Belmont Stakes and the Iditarod were the other two.
Belmont Stakes was paid for us.
Yeah, you mean dudes for men's? You thought that was? I thought the Daytona. I thought the Danica Patrick lady.
Danica Patrick. Yeah. Nope. That's what I would have thought too. So when I did this, before checking the answers, I thought so. But
all right.
Nope.
I'm okay with a 0-0 moving into question 2. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be one for me and not for him, but that's fine.
For sure, yes. By the way, the Belmont Stakes, it's funny that they have to clarify on the card. As a jockey, the first win was in 1993, a first female jockey.
Wow.
I didn't think they meant, when was the first female horse winner of the Belmont Stakes?
I drank that at the exact wrong time.
And the Iditarod, 1985 was the first woman winner of the Iditarod.
Oh my gosh, that one seems like everyone's just like, oh, it's all on the dogs, but I'm telling you, that is a gnarly ass thing they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Sled dog stuff.
That's a good point, P. Crumb. It could be as an owner of a horse for the Belmont Stakes, but yeah, as a jockey, first woman winner. All right, let's get to question numero dos. Things that happened in 1900. Speaking of history, which of these are things that happened in 1900? Number 1, Taft wins the U.S. presidential election. Spencer Tracy is born. The first Zeppelin flight. The Eiffel Tower opened. The first Oz book published. And Robert Browning died.
Oh my.
Which of these happened in 1900?
I don't know any of these, so we'll lock in on 2. I feel kind of weirdly confident about.
I think that one, and that's at least an even number, so that's possibility.
And just for clarification, we were talking about the Wizard of Oz books, not the HBO series Oz.
Not the very dark prison.
Right.
Okay.
I thought I better clear that up.
Yeah, that's
just
good.
to be sure.
Thanks.
That's good.
That doesn't. Why not? Sure.
Okay.
That show you.
World's Fair 1900. I couldn't remember. It was the World's Fair, and that's when they had put the tower up. Right? Was it 1900 though?
I don't know.
World's Fair was. Was the Eiffel Tower part of a World's Fair?
I don't know.
I believe it was, if I remember correctly.
I don't know.
All right.
No idea.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now. Let's see. You guys both chose Eiffel Tower. Let's start with Eiffel Tower since you both chose it. Eiffel Tower opened in 1889.
Shit. I am so not even close today. Holy crap.
The first Oz book, Taft won in 1908.
I almost went with that because even numbers, man.
Robert Browning died in 1889. The first Oz book, so that has been a recent topic that Wicked is based on a movie that was based on a book from 1900. And so it's kind of a fun little piece of trivia there.
This isn't Browning and what did he do? Robert Browning?
He was a poet.
Poet. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know it?
I didn't know it.
His legs knew it. They were Longfellows.
Know it.
Yeah. I thought he was in charge, or maybe he was the creator of the Browning cookware line.
The Betty Crocker Brownings.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know with these people and what you're going to ask us. So, all right. Well, we go into round 3 with big fat zeros. Jeez.
Well,
Louise.
the good news is we're going to pop culture and music, and by golly, I think you'll enjoy this
music.
one. Which of these pop songs name check a star athlete? Your choices are Empire State of Mind, Vogue, Ms. Jackson, Boom Boom Pow, Baby Got Back, and That Don't Impress Me Much.
I am for real. Let's see.
Oh my gosh. So which one of the
Boom, boom,
which one of these
which songs name check a star athlete?
Star athlete.
Yeah, so Alicia Keys' Empire State of Mind, Madonna's Vogue, Outkast Ms. Jackson, Black Eyed Peas Boom Boom Pow,
Like
Sir
Michael
Mix-a-Lot's
Jackson,
Baby Got
Vogue.
Back, and Shania's That Don't Impress Me Much.
Would you just that don't impress me much? Well, you know what? You don't impress me
No,
much either.
that song's fine. I just can't think of any of these. Man.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for
I'm gonna-
real. I'm no Michael Jackson. No.
I keep hovering over Vogue, but I think I'm hovering over Vogue, but I think I'm thinking of like
I think
Marilyn
there's-
Monroe or something. She wasn't an athlete.
I'm just not sure. Boom, boom, pow. I don't know.
Wow, I'm watching Brian's selections just bounce all over the place.
You know why? I don't have any. I'm just trying to. I'm trying each of them on. It's like, how these fit? They feel good. They feel good. How about this?
Why am I so tempted to click that? I'm doing it.
There. Boom. I'm
Okay.
doing it. Locked in.
All right. All right. Well, I watched the selections going all over the place here were very entertaining.
It's a nervous
Let's
habit
start-
I do. Is just
Scott-
like click on, click off.
Scott settled on one. He settled on Madonna's Vogue. And Brian, you
Oh.
had that one selected for a little while as well.
Yeah.
They talk about Betty
Come on
Davis
in Vogue.
and Greta Garbo, and they also mentioned Joe DiMaggio. who's a star.
Joe
So very good.
DiMaggio, of course.
So Scott is getting a
Got
point.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
he's won then because those other two were just wild ass guesses.
Well,
let's find out.
but what if they're the other two? Those might be the three, Brian. You never know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's just pull the Band-Aid off. No,
There you go. Thank
neither of
you.
the ones you've selected, Boom Boom Pow
Thank
and
you.
Ms. Jackson, neither one mentions a star athlete. Empire
Right.
State of Mind talks about LeBron
Dang it, I had that
and
one.
Dwayne Wade. You did. You had Empire and Vogue for the longest time, and it
Yeah,
looked like
yeah.
you were going to settle on those,
Yeah.
and you didn't.
I backtracked.
Baby Got Back mentions FloJo. Florence Joyner Kersey. I'm sorry, Florence Griffith Joyner.
Oh, right. Really?
Yeah.
Is he
Okay.
is he
Jackie
talking about her bum? He's not talking about her bum,
I
is
think he is, yes.
Oh, he's talking about all the bums. That's what he does.
It's all about bums.
Yeah. Empire State of Mind. What? Who's the mention?
My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. Empire State of Mind mentions Dwayne Wade and LeBron James.
Oh, all right. You said that. So, okay. Yeah, I don't. I got lucky. I feel very lucky today. I feel like Joe DiMaggio. I feel very lucky,
Feel like
luckiest man
luckiest man.
in the world. Well done. That was a great
good.
little finisher, though. Get down to 1-0.
good job.
Jeez Louise.
Absolutely. Nice little ending there. Then congratulations going to Steve Smetzer in Bowling Green, Ohio. You're going to get a copy of Doors Paradox and Geometric Sniper.
Oh,
Shoot
my.
the shapes.
Shoot the shapes.
Maybe just shoot the shapes from a distance, I guess. I don't know anything about either of those games, but big thanks to H and King Kimazabi.
Who was
Who
was the dude that in our community that looked like Jesus and came to all the events for a while?
Sebastian.
that was me.
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
He used to say he was real big on. Well, I don't know where it first came up, ELR or something. Somebody said, "Hey, the point of the point of Geometry Wars is to shoot the shapes." And then all he did, anytime I saw him, heard from him, anything was go, "Hey, man, don't forget." You got to shoot the shapes.
Shoot the shapes.
And I said, well, you don't forget deodorant, buddy, because
Yeah. I remember one of those intertaculars, early
Very European.
intertaculars before we not that Sebastian. It was a different Sebastian.
Oh.
Like,
oh yeah,
it was,
not the one from across the world.
from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
No, this is a
Okay.
Sebastian from probably from
Well, I
Utah.
was wondering.
Yeah.
I think he was from somewhere in Midwest, but I haven't heard from him in
No.
8 years, 7 years, something like that.
When I first guested the first time on ELR, like this is the first time I'm on the show and I'm talking to you and O and the two of you and O.
I was there.
Yeah, you were.
I know you were. You totally were.
Yeah, you're one of the two of you.
That's what I'm saying. You and you, the royal you.
The royal you.
The royal you. There was you had taken a break sometime in the show, and my phone was ringing off the hook behind me. You probably could even hear it during the show when we're talking. And then you take a break, a commercial break or a pee break or whatever. And Tina comes down the stairs and says, "There's a guy on the phone named Sebastian who says he needs you to relay a message to Scott or something." And I couldn't even remember, but he had looked up my name and found my phone number and called me while I'm on the show with you to get a message of something to you guys.
He was one of those
got in touch with all
guys.
of us.
Yeah, he's one of those stars that burns so bright that then he disappears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do too much.
Yeah.
It's like the guy who used to send us all the questions from wherever he was, Georgia. And he always had a list of questions. You do that too. You go too hard, you disappear, and you burn yourself out. So don't do that with us. We want
better
you
to burn out than to fade away.
That's right. Well, congratulations to our winners. What did they win again, Brian? Did we tell them?
Yeah. We didn't tell both of them. So Steve Smetzer, you're getting Geometric Sniper and Doors Paradox. But Troy in Perth, you're getting a copy of Hands of Necromancy.
Ooh. This is one of those rare moments where I don't know any of those 3 games. But
really? Wow, it is rare.
Sure, they're good. I'm sure they're great. I usually have at least heard of them, but those are all new to me.
Yeah. Well, good.
There you go.
I guess that's good. You can't really say, oh, yes, you're really going to enjoy the Doors Paradox. Make sure you break on through to the other side in the first stage.
I do like necromancy, though, so I'm super stoked for our Perth fella. Well, there you go. Congratulations goes to me and the winner, and then Brian Dunaway is he's shamed and has to go away. Now,
he's brought shame upon his family.
Here's the good news, though, Brian. To be better accommodate my mother's needs early in the week, being Mondays, which is today. We have moved. We've decided. We made an executive decision to play retro. Its new regular slot will be Tuesdays, because the way this all works out. Anyway, so tomorrow at the normal time, 4 p.m., we will have a Play Retro show. We're doing them Lost Vikings, boy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
One and two.
1 and 2. We're going to get Olaf, Sphincter, and
Belog.
Douchebag, whatever their names are.
Belog and who is it? Olaf. Who's the Eric?
I feel like they're naming the banana splits.
Or the... you remind me of the... I don't want to spoil anything. Never mind. I saw the movie. Right. I went and saw the movie last night. I saw 28 years later.
Yeah.
There's a certain... and it reminds me of that. I just don't want to...
You're talking... Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
All of a sudden?
I got all kinds of things to say about that.
Oh my gosh.
Danny Boyle is the most punk rock director in the history of the media.
He absolutely is.
Absolutely wild movie. Anyway, Dunaway, I can't wait for that. It's going to be fun. We're going to be together. Together at last.
And synapse.
Yep. Kiss my ass. All right. He's gone. Brian, we're going to take a break.
Velour track suits zipping up and down again.
Yeah. So many questions. I guess we'll have to wait till Bone Temple.
To the sequel. Yeah, exactly.
Find out what's going on. Man, I loved there are things in that movie I absolutely adored.
Yeah. I'm sure the whole Ray Fiennes bit.
All of that.
Yeah.
That's my kind of crazy. That was great.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything was great. It's a very cool movie. Do not go in there expecting Walking Dead. All right? These are different movies. These aren't even zombies. This is this is the problem with not a problem, but this is the thing with this entire 3-movie series so far, is they're not really zombies. So don't go in there with the rules in your head like you would a vampire movie. Don't do that, because these aren't the same. They're different. Anyway, all that being said, we're going to take a break. When we come back from said break, it will be time for Steven Schleicher and a little bit of nerd talk around the fire. Okay, I'm looking forward to this. So if you want to be a part of it, show up after that. Brian, let's play a song. What do you got?
Yeah, this is an artist named Buick Audra. Speaking of Audra and Brian Dunaway. She is of the band Friendship Commanders, but she's got her brand new solo album called Adult Child. She's also going to be touring this summer, and she's starting in her hometown of Nashville at a place called The Basement. So you can check her out there. This is fantastic. The album again is called Adult Child. It's available on all digital platforms. You can listen to the whole thing. Here's the first single. It is called Firstborn.
There are 50 sticks of dynamite locked in that trunk. Even a good bounce could set it off.
You saw your uncle's nipples.
Getting prepped for King of the Hill's return. I'm very excited.
I'll bet you are.
Brian, who was that again? So we know.
Yeah, that is Buick Audra and her brand new single brand new single Firstborn, which comes from her brand new album, which is called Adult Child. Go check her out. Nashville artist that is making waves.
I had a Buick Audra, but it broke down a lot. So.
I know. You got to really take care of those. The electrical system is always the problem.
It's not easy. It's not easy dealing with a car like that. All right, let's get Steven Schleicher in here, see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Steven, are you there, buddy?
Hold on one moment, and I will be. I need to...
You sound good.
Oh, we hear you. Yeah.
There we go. I think we're set.
Yeah, you all good?
Good.
I think so.
All right. Oh, excellent. Well, I'm happy to hear this
good.
exciting tone from you today. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
I mean, have you looked at the news lately?
Fair point. You make a good point.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's not as great as I think it is. Well, no, it's good having you here, though. We love having you here. Having you here is like having, I don't know, it's like having one of your best friends hanging around, you know?
Yeah.
That's how
thank you.
That's how we think of you. I forgot to play his thing, though. Let's do that real fast. I don't know why I did that.
And now welcome Steven to the show. He's a huge freaking nerd.
Dollar bills, y'all.
That's right. Steven Schleicher from Majorspoilers.com, a place for podcasts and games and tabletop and comic news and rumors and scuttlebutt and all that fun stuff.
Ooh, can I tell you what I just read last night and loved?
Do it.
Was the 5-issue Phoenix Endsong series, limited series, which I never read. But it's the one, like, you know, if you see a recent illustration of Phoenix, and it's the one where she's got her hand and she's doing that pose. That's the famous Greg Land illustration of Phoenix, came from that series, Phoenix Endsong.
So Phoenix,
really, really
X-Men Phoenix.
X-Men Phoenix, yeah.
I haven't read that one either. In fact, I don't even know the name of that series. Is it known to be
2005, it's just called Endsong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's good,
and, it's really good. Yeah, it's you know, you've got all your favorite X-Men in there, Scott, Emma Frost, Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, Storm, and
does Kitty Pryde go through? Does she go through things? Walls?
She does.
Yeah?
She goes through. She does a very interesting thing with people, like something that you know can end a fight instantly if she needs to.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, but does somebody scream, "I'm the Juggernaut"?
No, nobody says I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Doesn't
nobody.
happen? Okay.
Nobody pops up out of the floor and says that. Unfortunately,
that guy from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yes, Vinny Jones.
I love that guy. All right. Well, it's good to have you here, Stephen. We got a list of stuff we're going to go through today. In fact, we're going to start with this. I'm going to start with an email I want to read you. We got an email or a text that was for you. This is from Brian in Central Mass. Brian with a Y, one of those guys.
Okay, one of those. Yeah, sure.
One of those weirdos that kind of messes, with your life when you're a Brian. I don't get the single T Scott problem very often. I don't know too many of those.
Yeah.
But when I do, it's annoying.
That is really the only other spelling of Scott, really, is just the SCOT.
Yeah. Anything else is suspect.
Low T.
Yeah.
Low T.
Low T. So we got this. It says, regarding the comic book industry, you and Major Spoilers should examine the Rippaverse and what it's accomplishing. A young black entrepreneur has defied trends by implementing sound practices rather than adhering to comic book industry standards solely due to convention. Rippaverse has achieved significant success founded on the principle of canonical integrity, which dictates reading order. This approach avoids the confusion of multiple timelines or universes for readers. Investigate this further, says Brian in Central Mass. What do you say to that, Stephen? You familiar with the Rippaverse?
Oh, I am familiar with the Rippaverse. In fact, one of our other shows that we have, the Wayne's Comics Podcast, he's interviewed these guys several times with a bunch of their books. Now, there are some controversies surrounding the Rippaverse, some bullying and harassing accusations about that. Yeah, there's some good titles coming out of there from what I hear. I have not read any of them myself.
Okay, so we got, let's see, something called Zalen, What Kills Must Die. Oh, Isom, Yara Statue. Oh, that's a statue. Sorry. Let's see. View Store, all comics. So they got a lot in here. Are these all black creators? Is that the idea of the thing, or is it?
Not sure about that. I just know their name and I know their title and I know that Wayne Hall has interviewed them, creators from there several times. That's about the extent, and then just some of the controversy surrounding what's been going on with them.
I kind of want to read some and see what's up. See what's going on. Okay, interesting. There you go. Thank you for that. If you guys have questions for Stephen, we're happy to read those here on the show. Let's get to the new digital comic book store in town. Tell me more.
Yeah, so just announced, so you can sign up now to get on the waiting list, is Neon Ichiban, which is a new digital comic storefront created by, and this is the thing that I think is most interesting, it is created by the people who created Comixology, David Steinberger and Chip Mosier. Chip and I go way back to when he was the PR guy at Boom Studios before he, went to go work for Comixology, and then that got bought up by Amazon. They've been working over at Distillery, which is a comic publisher that we've talked about over the last couple of years on and off, but now they are launching their own digital storefront, Neon Ichiban, which is fine. I mean, they've signed up a bunch of comic book companies and manga creators as well, including Dark Horse, Distillery, obviously, Kodansha, Oni Press, Vault Comics, DC and Marvel have also signed on to this, as well as the manga titles. The thing that might put people off on that or might get people excited about this is, now we're not going to call it an NFT, Scott.
Let's not do that. Let's not call it that. Yeah.
But dreading it already.
You can buy digital comic books with signatures or sketches on these digital comic books, which come with a authentication number that you can buy and collect. And if you want to resell it later on, it might have more value.
Now you're gonna be surprised what I say about this. This is actually the use case this was always intended for.
I think so.
NFTs ruined it because NFTs were all about, hey, I'm going to draw 3,000 different monkeys with the same face with slight variations, and then I'm going to sell those for way too much money. We're going to have a dumb market around it, and celebrities are going to ruin it. It's just going to be shit, and it's going to be a scam. And a lot of people swooped in with other scams that helped it be more scammy. That was a problem, and NFTs needed to die in a fire in that way. But stuff tracked on the blockchain that creates ownership authentication and authenticity authentication and true ownership over digital rights of certain things there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just all been implementation and gold rush idiots, hustle bros trying to take advantage of it. This actually sounds like the decent use case.
Yeah. Now you don't, if you don't want to get into that side of it, you don't have to. You can just buy the standard good old digital comic book. But if you want to get a sketch cover or variant cover or a digital sign cover that you can sell again later, Neon Ichiban that's kind of their hook that sets them apart from all of the other digital publishers that are out there.
The other concern I have about the name, and it's just the name, and we know who's included in all of this, but this sounds like it's very heavily manga based, and so I'm glad to hear these other studios are involved and other publishers. But is that who they're really mainly aiming this for, and the rest is sort of just hanging out?
Beyond Viz Media, I believe, has their own reader, although you can read everything on the Viz.com website. Kodansha is the same way. I don't know of any digital publisher that sells manga en masse, right? Like, Viz sells Viz stuff, Kodansha sells Kodansha stuff, but Comixology sells, whatever they have available. This is one that seems to be catering really more towards the manga, but also, hey, you like manga, you like regular comic books, jump on Neon Ichiban.
Okay. I'm curious about it. And the founders of Comixology, who then, sold Comixology and then left Comixology to do a new Comixology. That's exciting in some ways, except I hope they don't sell it to Amazon and ruin it again, but whatever.
I think these guys, I don't know. I can't talk too much out of turn, but Chip Mosier and I have talked, and Scott, you were part of my entrepreneurship class. Chip came in to talk about entrepreneurial leadership, both with Comixology and when he was with Amazon with Comixology. So I think he has some very good ideas of how, and he's been doing digital comics from, you guys may remember back in the day when you could buy a Wizard comic and it may come with a CD full of comic books on there. He was marketing that stuff way back in the 90s and early 2000s. So I think he kind of knows what digital comics need to be. But again, he's not here. I can only speak from all the interactions that we've had over the years.
Well, I'm super curious about that. I'll have to keep my eye on it. And when's this launching? Is it now?
It is not launching yet. You can sign up and get an exclusive digitally signed comic, Brian.
Really?
At launch. I did that. I'm like 2,000th in line, although they do have a nice little gimmick that if you share your code, you can get bumped up higher in line.
Of course.
And get maybe something more rare. But just go to Neon Ichiban, and they've got the information there.
I will add this to the conversation. the NFT thing it's kind of ruined. So even these some sort of applicable ways of using it, it's kind of too far gone. The genie's out of the bottle, and nobody's going to like this. I mean, some people are, but it's going to get bashed. People are going to say, "Oh, is that the new thing where they're doing NFTs for there's just no getting around the negativity on it."
Because there's just such a stink around that stuff that it's hard not to immediately make that jump when you hear about it.
Well, so one of the things that they were doing at Distillery when they launched, I'm not sure they still do it now, but they would have digital-only comics that they would create a limited number of those, and when they sold out, you couldn't get any more digital versions of that. So it didn't come with any kind of blockchain tracking or anything like that. But that was one of the things that I know that they were trying. So that may have been a lead-up to what they're doing now.
Gotcha. Well, let's see how it all goes.
Yeah, and who knows? If we got what are those electromagnetic pulses, EMPs? We don't have to worry about digital comics at all.
It's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
It could happen more. That's more likely than ever, Stephen. So let's all get excited.
My son just turned 18, and I had to remind him, hey, you need to go sign up for selective service. We have just bombed Iran.
Yeah.
I know the timing.
Yeah. It's like, pull out, dude, pull out. Hey, Spider-Man 94 wrapped up the animated series. We're all done then, right?
Well, so there was kind of a big cliffhanger, right, Brian, with Spider-Man, the animated series back in 1994?
You think they come back for more? Have they said?
I don't think so. Not with the fact that the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series is doing so well. The old animated series was that on MTV or I'm thinking of a different one that was MTV. This was like Saturday mornings, Fox or something.
Fox or ABC or something like that.
The Spider-Man 94 series, And it was really hugely popular, but it did end on a cliffhanger where Spider-Man jumped into the multiverse to go and rescue Mary Jane.
Right.
And then there was no more. Well, Marvel is coming back with a comic book series, 5-issue miniseries. It is picking right up after the events of Spider-Man finding Mary Jane through the multiverse and going through, for those of you that have been reading the Spider-Verse series, this version of Peter Parker has popped up at least once. And so now he's back home, ? And so now we get to see in this 5-issue miniseries, we get to see the animated version of Kane and Morlun. And so people who always wondered why those two characters didn't show up in the animated series, you get your answer with Spider-Man 94 launching in September.
Who's Morlun? Is that a villain?
A vampire villain, right? Or like
he sucks the powers out of people.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would have said, well, sure, Kane and Morlun came after 1994, so of course they wouldn't have been in the animated series. But the one thing that series had, and it's something I'm hopefully looking forward to with the new Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series, is bringing all these characters that, instead of the focus on all the members of the Sinister Six and all the ones you see all the time, and Venom and Doc Ock and Green Goblin and all that, like, give us some of those weird ones. The Chameleon has always been a favorite, a favorite, or we're probably never going to get the it was Ox, and it was, I think, is the something, the Enforcers. It was like the first villains that Peter Parker had to fight. They were hired by J. Jonah Jameson. It was like Ox.
Ox, like
Fancy Dan.
Was Ox like a big old ox looking guy? Like
he was a cable that you had to plug into the right port to get audio to your Bluetooth device.
It's the term that he played the term my kids used that I hated when they were teenagers.
Aux cables.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Dad, where's the aux cable?
Yeah. It was three of these henchmen, almost Dick Tracy looking henchmen, and one of them was Ox, a big beefy dude. Second one was Fancy Dan, who he was really agile, quick footwork, and I can't remember who the third one was, but I just remember the Enforcers and never seeing any sort of animated version of them.
Here's Ox right here.
Yeah,
that's a version of him. So it's just a big...
that looks like it's from an animated series.
It absolutely does. Yeah. It doesn't say. I just pulled up a random one. Here's one from the comic.
That's the comic. That's the I don't even know if that's the Ditko one.
So just a big beefy dude.
Yeah.
They call it. Oh my gosh! This action figure. This is horrifying. Look at this thing.
Oh, jeez.
I don't like it.
Make it stop.
It's got articulated fingers, though. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
That might be homemade. I don't know what
It
that
just
is.
looks like he ate some bad shrimp.
Yeah. Somebody got an EpiPen. Ox needs his EpiPen.
Shellfish allergy.
His EpiPen's out in his car. You got to go get it.
That's right. Man, Montana was the third one. Montana was the other member. I can't remember what Montana's deal was.
There's a fun one. Look at that one.
He was from Texas.
Right, exactly.
Montana, Texas. Well, that's great. Let's also talk about Twilight Zone, the comic book. Hopefully nobody will die. Nobody died in the making of this comic book, right?
That we know of.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know how many people are fans of Twilight Zone. We're coming up to the July 4th weekend way faster than I wanted to.
Yeah.
But, Sci-Fi Channel used to always run Twilight Zone marathons, and other people do that too. And there have been attempts to do anthology kind of Twilight Zone-ish comic books in the past, but now IDW Publishing announced that it has got the rights to do and officially licensed the Twilight Zone anthology series. And I believe this is a 5-issue miniseries. Generally, IDW does that with a lot of their stuff before they decide if it's popular enough to launch into a ongoing series. But for fans of the Twilight Zone and Twilight Zone-esque type storytelling, they can go get that book. It arrives also in September. And it's an anthology, so it's got a bunch of different writers and artists for every issue.
I am very, very excited about this for a couple of reasons. The name isn't that important to me, but an anthology series with storylines like the Twilight Zone is known for, or Outer Limits, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's some of my favorite kind of comics. I love them when they get done. So
Yeah.
the right writing needs to be there, obviously.
Yeah.
But if that can happen, these are must-gets for me.
So
very
there
cool.
are some...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
The art style of these looks amazing, and I'm hoping that they really will be in black and white, like the
it would be great, like the
sample
cover
artwork.
show. Yeah.
And for you kids who are unfamiliar with Twilight Zone, it was the Black Mirror of the '60s, folks.
Yeah. 50s even, right? Early 50s or mid 50s?
Did it come out in the '50s?
Thought it was 50s.
I think
You
so.
might be
That's
right.
when, Shatner just did his thing.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was 50s.
Yeah, I
because
think
it was
you're right,
it was
yeah.
pre-Star Trek, which was 63 or something.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
They hold up. This stuff's so good. And if you've seen, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a modern. Oh, you know what? The modern equivalent's like Black Mirror. If you enjoy Black Mirror and you want to kind of see the roots of why Black Mirror works and stuff,
Sure.
Twilight Zone.
But maybe with not all of the
boobies.
the grossness
Not all the
sometimes.
movies.
Yeah, they've rebooted the Twilight Zone multiple times. Peel just was the host of the most recent TV series on the Twilight Zone. I think he was also the executive producer of that show. But if people like anthology series stuff, there's some really good anthology comics that other people might want to check out depending on what you're looking at. Immediately off the top of my head is the new EC Comics line from Oni Press. They have like a bunch of horror anthology stuff. They've got the, Tombstone of Terror. They've got Catacombs of something else. All of these are coming out monthly, and they're also anthology series. Then there's a really great series over at Image Comics, which is maybe more towards the Black Mirror / what was the other one, the competitor to Twilight Zone?
Outer Limits.
Outer Limits.
Yeah.
It's called Ice Cream Man. And it is really good. It's really creepy.
Oh, you recommended this to me somewhere.
Yeah.
It may have been when I was
Yeah.
doing the monthlies with you guys or something, but that is a great series. Really good.
Yeah, and there's a longer storyline behind it, but every issue there is a ice cream man that comes to town or comes to the city or whatever, and then we follow somebody's cursed tale through the issue, and the ice cream man has an intro and an outro, and then eventually the ice cream man becomes his own character, and there's a bunch of other things going on behind the scenes.
Do you remember
The
this,
artist
Brian?
really
I think
creepy.
this cover. Yeah, we totally talked
I think
about
we
it
talked
here.
about it here. Yeah, it's so good. Oh my gosh. And it's kind of the same thing. So if you're into that sort of thing, you like anthologies, it's a little like it's the what if stuff for Marvel. You got a Watcher type character, or the old Crypt Keeper crap, all that stuff. It's like that.
Yeah,
it's great.
Right, it's your
Yeah.
narrator.
Yeah, I love it.
And if you're into more kid-friendly stuff, Marvel has been releasing their line of Marvel Disney team-ups. What if Donald Duck was Thor, Iron Man, The Thing? What if Mickey Mouse and friends were the Fantastic Four or the Avengers? So you can go get those as well.
Very nice. Well, there you go. This is great. Love it. I want that one. Now, the big question.
Yes, for you guys.
Yeah, Superman or the Fantastic Four. If you could
so
only
again,
see
I don't-
one, right? That's
I
the deal.
don't have a movie theater in my town anymore.
Oh,
and it's going to
right,
take 45
right.
minutes to drive, to another city, clear over in another county.
Yep.
And so going and just, hey, let's drop everything and go see a movie is not one of those kinds of things that you can do easily. So we have 2 movies coming up next month, and they are basically releasing 2 weeks apart. We have Superman, and we have the Fantastic Four First Steps. And I was curious from you guys, if you could only see one of those 2 movies, you couldn't see the other one, which one would you choose?
I think I know Brian's answer, but Brian, what would you say?
You'd absolutely know mine. Yeah, it's absolutely Fantastic Four. Just because, listen, I like DC. I collected DC comics in the 80s and 90s as well, but without a doubt, the Fantastic Four I've been waiting for. This is one of the first comics I got into because George had the little anthology of the first 12 issues of FF, and easy for me, easy to see.
I mean, it's one of those things where we have to make an assumption right now that both are going to be equally good, right?
Yeah.
Like we have to at least assume
with
that.
James Gunn involved, I think that's a logical assumption. I think both of them are going to be really good.
I feel like this is really hard for me because I'm very excited about both of these things.
Yeah, me too.
But I think if I had to pick, probably Superman, but only by a hair. Because I want to see the revival that I think Gunn can do.
Yeah.
If this wasn't James Gunn, if this was another Snyderverse, if this was some other creator or whatever, I would probably be way less excited.
Sure.
But I'm very excited about what he's going to do. But Fantastic Four is also going to be rad. I hope neither of these are bad. If that ends up happening, we're all going to die. If Fantastic Four sucks, we're all going to die.
I know exactly.
Can you
Marvel
imagine?
Doesn't need another. Marvel does not need another crap thing. They ride the momentum of how great Thunderbolts
Hell yeah.
is. And
if they even get close to that, I'll be very happy. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think I'm in the same camp as you, Scott, that I want to see what a new creator, James Gunn is the co-head of DC Studios right now. And this is outside of the Peacemaker and the animated stuff that has already been released. This is his chance to walk out on stage and say, hey, here's what I want to do with these characters. Whereas we're still in the Kevin Feige, hey, this is the, what generation
property.
are we on? The 6th chapter of the Marvel
Phase
Universe.
6. Yeah.
Phase 6 or whatever it is. And our 5th take on the Fantastic Four.
Sure.
Right. I'm hoping.
I love that you included the 94 Corman one.
You have to include the Corman one, yeah. What's the Corman, then the
you had the two
Jessica Alba one,
Jessica
and
Alba
then the Michael B. Jordan one. What's the 5th?
Well, there were 2 Alba
or 4th,
ones.
I mean.
There were 2.
Oh, you're counting each of those. I got you. I was thinking
yeah.
that was like an iteration of the pair of those.
Right.
Here's and this is not a worry at all because I love James Gunn. I have 100% faith in him, but I wish the trailers showed a little bit more gunniness, like the crypto bouncing all around Superman, and in the extended version of that trailer bit is super James Gunn.
Have you seen the one where they're giving Superman crap after he's getting beat up and he's in the hole? And I think it's Mr. Fantastic or Mr. Terrific or Green Lantern are standing there going, come on, get up. And he's just like, I'm trying, believe me, I'm trying to get up.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that trailer
that
yet.
Came out within the last 2 weeks
Yeah, it's
that
good.
shows a lot more of the humor side.
Okay,
but also
good,
shows
good.
there's like an interview between Lois and Superman where he gets pretty heated about, apparently, we see at the beginning of one of the trailers where, there's a war going on and this little kid raises a flag and screams Superman. And then later, apparently in the movie, Lois is interviewing Clark / Superman. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert, everybody. Superman about this. And he gets really angry because she's
yes, I
like,
did see that one.
what
Yeah.
makes you think you can just go into another country and stop their wars? And then there's some good conflict going on between that as well.
Which
So
is
I'm
important
kinda
because you
interested in
need
seeing
that Lois Superman
Dynamic.
the core disagreements because they're clearly they're meant for each other at some point, but it's not an easy path, and that needs to be really well illustrated in this movie, I think. So,
Yeah.
very excited.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The chat says, no love for John Krasinski's Fantastic Four. I mean, it was a great little vision of a what if moment, but
it totally was.
Then,
yeah.
then he got
more of that.
Then he got spaghettied. So what are you going to do?
Exactly.
But we might get more of that because we talked a couple of weeks ago about not the Secret Wars, but the arc that supposedly inspired this story, and it includes the Council of the Council of Reeds, not the Council of Ricks. So we may see more Reeds popping up here and there.
Wait, is the Council of Ricks a riff on Council of Reeds? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, don't know.
Just like
it could be.
Get people
there was
annoyed.
the Council of Kangs too before that even. So
it feels like it feels like something those Rick and
but
Morty
they ain't
guys
touching that business. They give us that as a stinger, and that's all we're gonna get of that business.
All you're gonna get. Well, all right. This is all good stuff. I'm excited about all of it, including those two movies. And thankfully, other than Steven in his town with no theater.
Stupid movie theater with the biggest two movies coming out.
Yeah.
AMC doesn't want to make bank. This is why people should boycott AMC.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what. If they're boycotting other stuff, then they can spend their time more on majorspoilers.com. Tell them about the cool stuff going on right now that you want people to be looking at.
If people want to know what comics are coming out in September, we are posting a lot of the solicitation information about what titles you can expect, what cool things are coming. We also have new podcasts coming out every week and a whole lot more. So people can go check that out over at majorspoilers.com. And in the meantime, because now it's really getting hot now that we're officially in summer, please make sure everybody stays hydrated.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate that.
Bye now.
Bye now. See you later.
Just hang up.
See you. Bye. There you go. I got him.
No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
I'm going to hang up on you, buddy. All right. Hey, guess what? What if I came to you, Brian, and said, you had a busy weekend, you got a big weekend coming up.
Yeah.
What if I said to you that I have a throwback mashup that's all about Brian's pre-2018 impressions of people?
Oh, geez. Okay.
What if I told you that? How would you feel about that?
I would be so amazed. It feels like that would be the biggest thing that's happening to me in the 2 weeks.
I'm sure this will easily top any other things you have going on.
Sure will.
So I'm going to go ahead and play it. This is from Jamie TMS Mashups. He has put this together for us because he's awesome as usual. And here it is.
And now, Brian Ibbett does impressions.
All right, I'm gonna grab this ledge right here. All right, time to take a quick nap.
Does he have an accent? Is he talking like this?
No.
Here's your news about Bitcoin.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My name is Tom. Lots of students. What? Jack Tripper, what are you doing? Now, Chrissy and Janet and...
The way I think
I'm not going to let one of them park my car at the valet stand, but it's perfectly all right for me to watch them get mistreated in a porno. Now I'm going to encounter some Jawas. Ooh, scary. Now a sand person is coming and waving their big Q-tip at me. I don't want anybody digging through my shit.
Anakin, I will let your mother go if you win the Padres.
My Cletus is like John Yokel. Yeah, we'll play me some Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's right, we're gonna sing Bicycle.
Looks like she's got some nice round teeth. Her teeth are really far. Follow me into the bathroom and I'll show you my Lucky Charms. We got all sorts of new flavors. New marshmallows, pink sack. Oh no, we gotta help you, don't you know? That poor lady over there.
Yeah.
Why am I speaking Irish all of a sudden? I like Fishman. I put Fishman in every movie. Oh, you can't use that here. It's a whole different number. Zonkies, Fred. The amusement park guy is gonna kill us. Zonkies.
To say it.
I'm Walter Cronkite. What's up, television? Don't forget to mash and subscribe.
That's right.
That like button. I didn't like this movie because it didn't come with any deleted scenes. Your dog is gonna be eating your cake. You're gonna go home. You're gonna open the box. Cake's gonna be all over the place. The dog is gonna eat the cake.
Oh my gosh, you haven't done one of those in a long time.
I haven't done a Christopher Walken in forever.
Yeah, ages. Also, we have definitely improved Brian's
audio
sound
quality. Jeez.
Those were Skype days. I think those were Skype days.
Yeah, I think so.
We thought Skype was the end all be all for a while.
It really did.
Now it's just the end all.
It's just the end all. Well, it's done. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's out, finished.
Out as of a couple months ago. No more Skype.
No more Skypey pants.
And if it weren't for it being in the news, nobody would have noticed.
Nope.
Oh, Skype. Skype's not an app anymore? Huh. Interesting.
Imagine squandering the this is like changing Twitter to X. You literally created a verb
to
tweet somebody And in this case, you want to Skype me? Why would you throw that shit away? Microsoft and eBay, for that matter, you're all stupid. You're all dumb for how you handled that. Everything about that was really, really stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, you let Zoom eat your lunch during the pandemic. It's just so dumb.
And nobody's gonna, Graham Ellis says, well, they renamed it Teams. Yeah, nobody's gonna use Teams as a verb. Like you're gonna say, I'm gonna Zoom my aunt later today, or I'm gonna Zoom such and such, or But nobody says, let me Teams with the rest of the committee and see if we can come to an agreement.
No, it's terrible. But you would say Skype. Like it's the biggest example of corporate missing the boat that I can think of recently. Yeah. But they're known for that. They did this with Nokia. They did this with other stuff. The Zune is a good example. Like, there's just Microsoft shit. Well, anyway. Hey, you guys, that's it for the show. A couple of quick notes here. Monday show today at 1 p.m. Myself and my daughter Carter will be on mic talking live at frogpants.tv if you want to come check it out. I have a little more to say about that weird story with the kid from Carter's perspective, so please come check that out.
Oh, good. Okay.
What's going on with Daily Music Headlines today?
Yeah, Daily Music Headlines. We covered a story today about a music festival in France this last weekend where almost 150 participants or attendees, including a lot of teenage women, got poked with a hypodermic needle by various people in various locations. Like, this is a music festival that occurs all over France, not just in Paris or in one location. It's all over, and a lot of women got.
What was in it? Do we know what was in it or anything?
No information yet on what was in, if anything, what was in the hypodermic needles. But apparently, it's it's your domestic terrorist attack, basically, because it's coming from inside the country.
That's awful. So, I don't like that one bit.
It's horrendous. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, those tight, any kind of concert setting for another reason Scott doesn't care to go to concerts very often.
Yeah, except this weekend.
Well, it's a nightclub, so we get to sit.
It's a special situation. Yeah, exactly. Also covered Ringo Starr's brand new country album produced by T-Bone Burnett. So,
hey,
that's pretty cool.
With peace and love. With peace and love, okay.
I'm warning you to listen to my new album, With Peace and Love.
I won't sign shit, though, with peace and love.
If you buy my album, I'm throwing it in the bin with peace and love.
It's just, every time his name comes up, it's an excuse to talk about it. I love it.
It is. It's my favorite thing Ringo Starr ever released, ever recorded.
Yep.
And that includes with a little help from
his greatest contribution, honestly.
Yes.
I love it.
I hope somebody's put that to music and just I get by with a little peace and love, throwing in the bin.
Well, we have the technology. Somebody should put that together.
For sure.
Anyway, let's do a song and get the F out. Before we do, frogpants.com/TMS is our website. All things are there. All roads lead to there, and all roads lead from there. So if you're looking for a road and you need to go there,
they lead to and away from there.
Frogpants.com/TMS is all you got to do. Now we'll play a song. What do you got?
Cool. Well, da-na-na-na-na-na. This is going out to Lydia Grace Bauer. Da-na-na-na-na-na. She says, happy birthday to my main squeeze and BFF, John. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Is there a cover of Birthday from the Beatles? Da-na-na-na-na-na. Yes, there is, and I'm going to play it now. This is by the band Halocene, and so you know what you're getting for. It's a nice, clean, hard rock killer version of Birthday by the Beatles. This came out on their Volume 1, first album of covers from 2014. Here's Halocene and Birthday.
Go to frogpants.com for more amazing. It's like a maze of amazing.
Be a little less snarky.